All right, Vol Nation, we're back.
Welcome once again to this week's episode of the Rocky Chop Report. I am the Super Genius Wiley. Once again, webcast from the Big Orange Bunker here at 1998 Championship Drive in Knoxville, Tennessee, along with my faithful companion, my hetero life mate, young Brandon, up there in the Chattaboogie. And we're here to talk about the state of SEC football, in particular, how our boys are getting ready to go to a hog slaughter over in Fayetteville.
Indeed. But before we get to that, let's do a slight recap of some of these scores from last week.
Okay. We did a better job picking. I will say that. We did do a better job picking this week.
We did a better job picking
than we have in the past. We only missed on Florida, Missouri, but I think everybody missed on Florida, Missouri.
That Florida, Missouri game was something else.
Yep.
I was thinking that Missouri would do their thing. They did not, and the wheels came off.
Now that's been odd this year. I've seen teams that are rusty.
But I like that kid. I like that quarterback.
Yeah, Kyle Trask is a good quarterback. He's doing what he needs to do. He's protecting the ball. He's scoring touchdowns. You know, Florida's got their usual menagerie of 4 and 5 star players on defense, and so they're gonna do what they do. The only thing that we can hope for is that they and Georgia just beat the shit out of each other. And then we can pick up the dregs in a couple of weeks when they come.
Worse things have happened
when they come to town.
As we mentioned, Arkansas, they're coming up on our schedule.
They did cover last week.
They covered.
I thought it was a garbage time cover, but they did. I mean, the line of the game was 13.5, and they managed to get it to 11 right there at the end. It was not as competitive as I thought it would be.
No.
They Bumper Pool and the boys were not able to stop.
Bumper Pool.
Exactly.
Bumper Pool.
We're not able to stop the Aggie offense as frequently as Coach Sam would have liked. And honestly, defensively, I mean, their secondary is pretty decent, but offensively, they have not been setting the world on fire. Statistically all around, they're. I mean, honestly, it's a perfect matchup. They're decent. They're not setting the world on fire. I mean, the receivers have. Statistically, the yardage is relatively the same. We get both. They give up the same amount of yardage on average as we do.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the rest of the game so we can move on into this segment.
Well, there was a slaughter in Tuscaloosa.
Oh well, we saw that coming. I mean. Elephants don't like dogs.
No.
It was another bulldog neutering, but this one was expected.
Yeah.
We all kind of saw this coming. Ole Miss and Vandy. Vandy looked like they were going to cover there for a second.
Oh yeah, just for a small amount of time. I thought they might cover.
Those black and gold bastards. Again, they tease. I mean, they're worse. They're worse than the nymphomaniac version on Prime Night. They tease, they titillate, and then they fuck you over.
They PG-13, young man.
That's my one. You get two.
I only thought you got one in a PG-13 film.
Well, still, and So we also had who else did we have this weekend?
Well, what I was going to get to was Auburn and LSU.
Oh man,
how the mighty have fallen.
We thought for sure after the South Carolina game that LSU was just going to go in there and put up 1,000,000 points, and it didn't happen. It was just, I mean, Gus has probably saved his job for another year somehow.
48-11.
I mean, and it just kept getting bad. It just kept getting worse and kept getting worse and kept getting worse and worse and worse.
It was a hemorrhage.
It was. I mean, I felt for him because it was almost like watching the daggum Kentucky game all over again.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you did not. Nobody saw that coming. I don't think anybody. Auburn fans saw that coming.
Yeah, so is Auburn that good, or is LSU that bad?
The West is just weird. It's a little schizo this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody. I mean, Alabama's obviously again. I mean, that's the
gold standard.
The quote unquote normal, part of the situation. I mean, A&M is better. They seem to be better. We'll find out on the 14th when they come to Knoxville.
I'm a little afraid of that team.
Well, we'll see. It depends. We got to get out of Fayetteville. Ole Miss, and Mississippi State. You know, Mike Leach is just, Jerry Clower says about a mouthy football player. He's all mouth, no chitlins. And it's not. Do I think eventually it could translate? The air raid could translate to SEC. I mean, yes. I think it could. Are the fans at Ole Miss going to be patient enough to give him time to make it translate? Probably not.
Hey, Dren, did you hear something?
Oh, wait a minute.
I believe I heard a knock at the door.
Yeah. It's time. Oh, Vols fans, we have been promising this for the past 2 weeks. It's time for a new semi-regular segment on the show, Legends Corner with Uncle Bill. Uncle Bill, why don't you give your sage advice to the Vol Nation and our boys going into this game at Arkansas, and tell them what you think they ought to do against them Hogs.
I appreciate y'all calling to talk to me about Arkansas there. Of course, anytime you think about Arkansas, you gotta think back to '98, and they fumbled the ball there and kept our national championship dreams alive. But I think it'll be a pretty interesting game. Of course, they've been pretty down there with Arkansas, but they've been looking better this year. They've been in about every game they played. Of course, they took care of both the Mississippi schools. They took old Lane Kiffin and Mike Leach. They took a win to them. But I think it'll depend on how the offensive line, how they do, and if they give Garantano enough time to do what he's got to do. And if they do, I think we'll be all right there. Hey, if y'all got time, John's here. He comes by on Fridays. And we eat popcorn and talk about the game coming up the next day. If you got time, I think he'll say hello to you.
Oh,
hey, John, I got a couple of Tennessee fans here on the phone. They're doing some sort of computer show. Will you say hello to them? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is John Ward coming to you from in front of Bill Anderson's microwave. The task: popcorn. The brand: Orville Redenbacher movie theater butter. The microwave: Magic Chef. The clock: digital. And wherever you are listening around the world, you can count it down with me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's popcorn time in Tennessee. Hey, John, give me a handful of that. Hey, that's pretty tasty there, John. What do you think about it? It's good. Hey, John, did that microwave get all the kernels popped this time around? No, sir-ree. No, sir-ree. Well, hey, guys, we got the popcorn pop now. I'm gonna let y'all go. But good luck with your computer show there, and go Big Orange.
Uncle Bill.
Wait a minute, Uncle Bill.
Yeah, what do you got there?
We got a 1.5 given to us against these this South Meat team. You think we can cover that?
Oh, I think we'll be all right there. You know, you never know what. Of course, you got to play them out there. But I think we'll be all right by. Oh, I think we'll have them by about 10, 14 points, really.
Well, Uncle
it's
Bill,
always good to talk to Uncle Bill.
It's an honor to talk to you, sir. We hope to have you back on the show anytime you want to come by and talk to us and share your wit and wisdom. And be sure to bring old John with us. We sure do miss him.
As always.
All right, fellas. I appreciate y'all having me on your all's computer show there.
Y'all have fun eating that popcorn. Don't get no kernels in your dentures.
Now, I forget, was it good?
It's good.
All right. That was
right. Always good to
segment.
hear from Uncle Bill.
Always good to hear from Uncle Bill and a cameo from the legendary John Ward.
Ward. Absolutely.
Hopefully a semi-regular segment here on the Rocky Top Report. We'll get them on as often as possible.
Absolutely.
So we're still talking about games. Our matchup this week, honestly, this is probably as evenly matched as we've been with anybody, I think, so far this season. Quarterback wise,
and the spread kind of reflects that.
Yeah, the spread kind of reflects that. Quarterback wise, Philly Hot Dogs has done a little bit better job keeping tabs on the ball. He's got 2 interceptions and about 1,300 yards passing for the season. Garantano's got those 4 picks and with about 921 yards over the season. I think as far as production,
just showing some of the
as far as like skill positions, I think that's where we have a distinct advantage. I mean, Arkansas has got some good players. I think their top wide receiver has 4 scores and about 800. A great big chunk, 600 yards receiving. I don't know the exact number. You could probably pull it up for me, Brandon. But I think skill position wise, I think that's where the difference is going to be. We definitely have an edge in rushing between our 2 guys. Eric on the edge and Ty between the tackles. We've got about between 2 of them. They've got about 15. They've got about right at 1,000 yards rushing between the 2 of them. Eric Gray, of course, being the leading rusher for the Vols currently.
I'm telling you, option football.
Yep. We have got to now one thing that Franks does have that Garantano does not have. Felipe is a lot more mobile than JG. We have seen that happen though. The godforsaken heave the cleave from 3 years ago. So we've got to figure out how to get some pressure up front. Bumpus and Solomon, guys, you have got to get some push on those hog mollies up front for Arkansas, because if there's one thing Arkansas has always had, they have always had a huge offensive line, and that's what Sam Pittman does best is offensive lines. He's not road grading like I think he wants to. I mean, it is his first season, but we've got to get some pressure up front. Henry has got to show up in this game.
And I think this week of rest, we're going to come out looking good.
Yeah. But Henry's got to show up. He disappeared during the Alabama game. He did not have a good game against Alabama. They were able to get tackles and guards. Yeah, it's just he definitely wasn't in Kansas on Saturday. I mean, defensive back wise, as long as we don't give them anything on the outside, they're gonna try to do 3-step drops and slants and get rid of the ball quickly and take advantage of what has been traditionally our weakness, or was shown to be our weakness this season, which is those short underneath intermediate 5 to 7 yard routes, which turn into 15, 20 yard gains.
We got to step it up on D.
We got to tackle. We got to tackle, and I hope we see more. I hope we see Tyler Barron in there. I hope we see Roman Harrison. I hope we don't have any head cases show up. I'm looking at you, number 33. Alontae Taylor should be fully healed up from his injuries. He was still a little banged up going into Alabama. Hopefully the week off has done him some good. I hope Maglia is ready to go. The state of Tennessee has had problems with inconsistent kicking. I'm not just talking about Knoxville either. Titans. But that's a different webcast. That's a whole different webcast. But I mean, the line is a sucker bet. I mean, regardless of who you take, you're taking the points. I love Uncle Bill. I think Uncle Bill's being a little optimistic. I think if we can get him by a touchdown, I'll be happy. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be second half. It's going to go all the way. It's going to come down to somebody's going to have to make a play. Somebody's going to have to get a turnover. Hopefully it's us instead of them. I mean, we were able to get that kind of magic bullet, one turnover against Alabama in the second. I think it was the second quarter. So, and Guaranteed will look relatively sharp. I mean, that pass to Hyatt and the pass to was it Brandon or Jordan?
Palmer.
It was Palmer. Okay, so it was Jordan. So it's the pass those passes. So those two long passes look sharp. If we can get 1-on-1 and beat Alabama on the outside,
you can play with anybody.
We can play with anybody. We can play with anybody. So at least we just got to get him protected. So the two most disappointing features of this team this year have been the lines. The defensive line has been a bit let down, but the offensive line has been a big letdown for me too. Brandon is going to let me wax rhapsodic here for a moment. But the offensive line went in with so much hype with Wanye Morris and Trey Smith, and when Cade Mays was granted his eligibility. Welcome back, Brandon.
Sorry about that. Natural light only lasts so long around here.
That's okay. It happens. But I was talking about, how much hype the O-line came in with Wanye and Trey, and when Cade Mays finally got his eligibility back, we thought, hey, that's it, man. That's 8 games. Right? That's 8 games in the box. Right, 8 games right there. We're going to run over some people, and it just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting. We're desperately waiting for them to figure this crap out. I mean, at this point, if I'm Brandon Kennedy, I don't want to stay around for a 7th year.
Yeah.
I mean, so we've got to figure out something on the O-line, because it's not they have underperformed vastly so far this season.
Yeah. Just between roller skates and just playing out and out, not doing your job, something's got to give.
I mean, just go punch somebody in the mouth. I mean, running the ball is supposed to be fun for offensive linemen. I mean, you get to go out and myrtleize somebody. I mean, the last time we saw it, those guys looking like they were having fun was against Missouri, and we handled Missouri. Missouri wasn't the ball. Missouri wasn't the ball game until the fourth quarter, and even won the ball game. It wasn't really a ball game then. So,
not to speak of.
I mean, I love my boys, but y'all got to figure something out.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. We're about 20 minutes into this thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me. So, despite my love for all things SEC and Tennessee football in particular, my attention last Saturday was drawn to a certain game between the Tigers of Clemson and Boston College.
Yeah.
It looked like there for quite a while that the Giants had indeed been slayed. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, when Trevor Lawrence went down with was diagnosed with COVID, I think the world kind of my wife just texted me, forgive me for that. The world kind of had it, football world kind of gave a collective gasp and like, okay,
yeah,
what's going on? What's going to happen? Because I mean, they had, even with Trevor in there, they had always had a game that was close. A game that was close. I mean, Syracuse Syracuse was it last year or 2 years ago, and I mean they've dropped games they shouldn't have. So, I mean, it's at some point somebody was going to get him. I thought the game was going to be closer than it probably should have been. I mean, realistically, when you thought about going in, but I really think that look, Peyton Manning when he was forced to come into action lost his first game. Now DJ Ugalele, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. That's about as close as I'm gonna get to it. DJ Ugalele, I mean, supposedly, is the guy not? Excuse me for a second. Let me finish this thought. Not quite here. Got to let the big orange goddess know what's going on. Yeah, so just called my wife the big orange goddess. Yeah. Off the top of my head. That's the way. That's super genius. Anyway, so
you sir know how to give a compliment.
I think that it wasn't shocking. I mean, I thought it took him a little bit. But he finally got it together and brought him back.
All right, so if you couldn't tell, my question concerning Trevor Lawrence, which I want to get to him and Etienne, but we'll start with Trevor Lawrence. Where do you think he's going to go?
Well,
because everything I've looked at on this screen, pretty much.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If the Jets are my only option, if I'm Trevor Lawrence and the Jets are my only option, I'm either staying in school, or I'm pulling an Eli Manning and saying y'all can draft me, or an Eli Manning or a John Elway.
Yeah,
y'all can draft me. I ain't gonna play, but I ain't gonna play for you.
Yeah.
Now,
the Jets are so terrible at football. They're running things, the front office, the coaching. It's just a shit show.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, our fearless leader Mitch Alday gave me an interesting scenario a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about this. I said, his brother Mikey is a huge Clemson fan, and so they talk a lot. Mitch of course is Georgia. Mikey's Clemson. And so they talk a lot, and they banter quite a bit. And Mikey told Mitch that, something that's interesting is that that Jacksonville, the Cons, are very, very high on Dabo Swinney. And so, if they were able to get him out of Clemson and get him to the NFL, that Trevor might see if they could figure out how to get Trevor to come to Jacksonville. I mean, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. I mean, Phil Fulmer at one point had been considered for the Carolina Panthers job. He didn't go. I don't think
bringing up Dabo Swinney. I love Jeremy Pruitt, but to me, Dabo Swinney is the coach.
Yeah, I think he is the only. And quite honestly,
I'll even say good things about Nick Saban.
Well, and quite honestly, if you had asked me this before I even had that conversation with Mitch, I would have said that the only job that I would have thought Dabo would have even considered leaving Clemson for was Alabama. I mean, that's home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the NFL is going to be intriguing. They're going to throw a lot of money at him. You know, Spurrier will tell him, hey, it's less hours. You can go golfing in the afternoon.
Right.
No recruiting. So, I mean, there is that. You're home a lot more in the off season. So, I mean, from a family standpoint, that's going to be pretty attractive.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as Travis Etienne needs to go to a place that's going to use him. I mean, I don't see him as a high first round draft.
Let's get to Etienne.
Okay.
Etienne. Lo siento, por favor.
Yeah.
I think it's his Heisman to lose.
You think it's Etienne? Oh, you mean Lawrence or Etienne?
No, Etienne.
Well, I haven't been following his stats that closely, but I mean, he is a key player in that offense.
Wouldn't you like to see such a thing?
Yes. That would be so lovely. I mean, it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot more put on him going in the South Bend. So we're going into what this is going to be our 606 yards. He's averaging so he's averaging right about 100 a game, 5.9 a carry. He's going to have a pretty big breakout game somewhere.
Well, I think if this kid from Hawaii can throw him the ball more, I think it's sealed.
I mean, it's pretty well wide open. I mean, if Trevor doesn't get sick, I think it's his to lose.
Well, I would have said that before he got sick, but I think him missing these couple of games or
it's gonna hurt.
3 games, it's gonna hurt.
Because Notre Dame right now is their showcase.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of ironic them playing. They're playing. Let's see. I know. BC is Jesuit. And so now they're going up against another. I think is Notre Dame Dominican. I can't remember. I have a friend that would shoot me by not knowing that. But I just I think it's kind of right that they warmed up with the Jesuits and now they're going to have to go play in front of touchdown Jesus.
Yeah.
And see what happens. I mean, I think Clemson can win this game. What's the spread?
Oh geez, I have no idea on that one.
It's got to be less. It's got to be less than 10. I
couldn't imagine it being more than 10. Yeah.
Yeah. If Clemson walks out of here with a touchdown, with a touchdown victory,
this is from my lifetime of watching football, and surely you can attest to this. Notre Dame is always overranked.
Yeah.
I
would especially in. I like Brian Kelly, but especially in the Brian Kelly era.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they had that national championship game in 2012 against Alabama. Was it 2012 they played Alabama?
Something like
that. They had no business being in that game. They got run off the field. So we're gonna see. I mean, we're gonna see. I mean, this is honestly, if Notre Dame, and I think the way Notre Dame's schedule stacks up, they could potentially see each other again in the ACC championship.
Yeah, I believe that will happen.
And I do too, unless North Carolina and Miami completely screw things up for somebody. We'll just have to see, what happens. But it's going to be a close one. I think it's I think it's going to be a hard one for the kids. Excuse me for averting my gaze. I'm opening my phone again so I can pull the kid's name up again.
Sir. I'm about ready to wrap it up.
Yeah, good. I'll call him DJ. For DJ to walk into South Bend, it's not going to be easy. That's a very intimidating setting for any quarterback to walk into. but I'd say we're probably looking at a 42-35 game.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be much defense played.
No, not at
So
all.
Are we ready to go into our pick section, or do we have anything else we want to discuss on the hog boiling this weekend?
Well, I can. We can make some picks if you'd like to, sir.
Okay, we can pull up the magic spread. I don't know what our record was last week. I do know that we missed. I think we got everything. But the Florida Georgia guys do a much better job of keeping track of their own records.
But I've never been a pick betting guy because
I've always years.
When you're a Tennessee fan, you cannot bet on the Vols.
For years, my dear friend Robin Richards, ran a Yahoo pick'em where you had to pick against the spread and assign points to your pick, and I sucked at it. It was bad.
Yeah.
I would get the pick right and then miss on the spread or whatever. It'd be a push or something. So let's start with the.
Let's start with the cocktails, baby.
Yeah. Okay. So Florida against Georgia. Georgia's 3.5 point favorite. I really don't want Florida to win this game. Pun intended. I want them to get the dog shit beat out of them. Because I want them coming in the Knoxville with a loss.
Disheartened.
Yes, I want them tagged with that second loss.
After seeing our friends with their string the other night, I will give them credit.
Yeah,
they're the most polite Florida fans I believe I've seen.
Yeah. Well, I happened to comment to Mitch last night after I watched their show. I said, you guys are way too civil to each other, man. And by the way, hey Mitch, take your sloppy top and shove it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think Georgia. My heart says Georgia. I'm gonna cheer for the Dogs. I typically do. I don't have the hatred for Georgia that you do. I have too many friends that are Georgia graduates.
I know a lot of people that went there too.
So I'm going to say Georgia. I'm going to pick Georgia to win. I'm going to take Florida in the points. I think it's going to be a 3-point game. I don't think Georgia's going to cover. I think Georgia wins, but I don't think they cover.
Okay, so here's I think if Florida shows up with that offense, clicking on all cylinders, I don't know that Georgia's defense can keep up with it.
Well, Georgia's defense has had the shittiest luck this week anyway. Richard McCown.
This is true. So I'm going to take Florida in this one.
I'll take Florida. I'll take Florida minus 3.5. But my heart, I want Georgia to win this game. I
don't want the Gators to win.
I'm voting purely on spread on this one. And Kirby, either teach him to ride a motorcycle or ban them. Okay?
Ban it, or I'm going to use my one. Learn how to ride the motherfucker.
Okay, there's your one. All right. So now we're going from the cocktail party to the turd in the punch bowl. Vandy at Starkville. The Air Raid Bulldoggies are a 19-point favorite in this one. It honestly, it could be 19-0. Vandy couldn't score on the Tennessee School for the Blind. That offense is that bad. Defensively, I think they're going to give State some problems.
They couldn't score at a Sexual Addicts Anonymous meeting.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I'm gonna take the Bulldogs to cover. I think. I mean, I literally think it's gonna be like a 21-0 game.
Yeah,
I think
it's all.
it's going to be a cover. They're going to do, especially after what Ole Miss did to them. My God.
Yeah.
I mean that just, I mean, setting records left and right, throwing darts. I mean,
was pathetic.
By the way, I'm gonna throw a prediction out there that the over under for the Egg Bowl is going to be 140. The over is going to be 140. Seriously, man, where's the defense going to come in that game? All right, A&M. A&M's got A&M's my 10-point favorite going into Columbia. Yeah, I actually like that line. I think it's dead on. I'm gonna take the Aggies in the points in that one. Jimbo, where must Chump out? Please,
Amen.
I want him out of the SEC.
I do too.
I want to be able to say to him
before they hired him.
Yeah.
We were talking on the Book of Face about all this, and
yes.
Somebody said, "Well, Muschamp would be a fine hire at South Carolina. He's the greatest coach ever," and blah 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 blah.
I mean,
no mercy, Jimbo.
Yeah,
no mercy.
Seriously. And I mean, one of my favorite things to say is, "How's that Tennessee job looking about now, Will?" I mean, look. I mean, he is the top. He's at the top of my list. Nobody is happier than me to see that Will Muschamp has a 2-game losing streak.
Oh, I can't stand him.
I'm over it. I want him out of the SEC. Send him to the NFL. Get rid of him. Put him on some second-rate broadcast team. You know, that's about as good as he is. What have we got left, Brandon? We did the cocktail party. We did Vandy, Mississippi State. We've done A&M, South Carolina. The last one is ours. I mean, it's a sucker line. It's a pick 'em. We either go with them or we don't. And I mean, I don't see where we have a choice. We got to pick our guys.
Yeah, we got to pick our boys. Hell.
I mean, it's yeah.
And our final
segment of the evening, the weird
Vol of the evening is our weird Vol item of the week.
Weird Vol merch.
Little from a site called
Groove Life. Okay, I have so many vivid ideas of exactly what that is. I've already violated my PG-13 protocols for the webcast.
It's not a chicken ring. I'll say that.
Thank you. Yeah, good.
This is just a ring.
That did come to mind. That did come to mind. Is it a dog bowl? Is it an engagement ring?
It's a ring. It's just a ring for your finger. Okay. Would you wear such an item, Wiley?
Oh. I mean, the only jewelry I wear is my wedding band. So I don't even wear a watch. So probably not. Would it be nice to have? Sure. I mean, I'm not a big jewelry guy.
You know what would be sick? If we could find our colleagues, and when we beat them, if you had one of these,
yeah,
kiss the ring, baby. Kiss the ring.
That would be cool. Well, I want to, while we're close, after now we've done our Weird Vols merge for the week, I want to close up shop. Thanks
to Uncle Bill.
Thanks to Uncle Bill and John Ward for joining us.
John.
Dargan Ware. We ran out of time. We'll get you on sometime this week. Maybe we can do a debrief on Sunday after the game
action.
Yeah. Or I think he might be our Matt Damon.
He could be.
He could be
our Matt Damon.
We'll just have to see. All right, Vols fans, make sure you send your burnt offerings, you rub your totems, and
send your weird stuff.
Yeah, you say your prayers to the great prayers to the great pumpkin. Hopefully we can come out this weekend with a victory and be all hyped up when the Aggies come to town on the 14th.
Absolutely.
And as always, young Brandon, it has been a pleasure, my friend. And we will catch your asses on the flip side.
Igualmente. Go Big Orange.
Go Big Orange.